Hi guys, my name is Oshun the Great, and welcome to my beautiful channel. Don't mind my hair, I just got out the shower, so my afro is still wet. um, but today I want to talk about the spiritual consequences of greed and wanting greed and power and control, and also how hostels and businesses have lost the plot in this day and age, and not settling for cruelty. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because I had a hell of a day yesterday where I had to stand up for myself. I basically was volunteering in a hostel here in Mexico. It's not odd to be a traveler and to want to travel cheaply or to want to volunteer places and everything of that nature. And I'm actually in a hostel now in a private room, but this hostel in particular, the boss ended up being very unprofessional, very cruel, and very sus. He was already like under the table and very like weird activities there and everything. And but I was giving it a try anyway. I was in a very vulnerable situation, and trying to make money. Like my whole trip right now is about finding a better place in Mexico to do my tarot readings, like places that are more receptive to spirituality and tarot readings and things of that nature. And um, so basically that turned sour because he was basically being very cruel and exploitive, and other volunteers were like left in charge, and they had very machismo energy, and we just didn't get along. I just stopped doing the work, and I got kicked out yesterday. And what's crazy about this situation is that this guy himself, he has admitted to having long streaks of bad luck. And I don't even know if this can be contributed to spiritual consequences per se, as it is cause and effect. But it's very telling when people can't even see how the way they live is like very reminiscent of like what they put out, they get tenfold. And so in this world, in this material world, in the physical world, that's very like that has so much emphasis on oppressing others and who can get the most power and stepping on others to get ahead. um, People think that there's no fucking consequences, and unless you're like the top head evil person, a lot of this is a very rigged game, even for bad people. Like meaning that a lot of your wins that you get from stepping on others can be very short lived, can backfire. So in this situation, every time that people try to treat me unjustly, it would backfire. Just like yesterday, my spirit was like, no, don't overgive to this community that's been treating you cruelly. And he ended up having to clean, and that shift backfired. Multiple times things have backfired. And things like hoodoo spirituality gets a bad rap because hoodoo was created to bring back balance in the world where people are treated cruelly or unjustly, and basically it brings out clarity and true justice, and it behaves like a mirror, and so people fear it. And a lot of bad people want to make clarity seem like madness or evil or crazy. And I'm like, dude, you've gotten sick over the last week. You lost some very essential workers because of how you run shit. And these people don't care. They're running off the illusion of admiration and control. And without that, they're very weak. And it's not even. It seems like a lot of the hostels that I've been going to, they either treat the volunteers or people really bad, or it's very forward facing of like superficiality. And I think people get away with it because people passing through don't have to see the true character of folks. And so it's very like, transient, fair enough. But for me, it means like the backbone of those types of places don't last. And they wonder why like things fall through, or it's not like everlasting, or they're struggling. And a lot of them are struggling in scarcity, acting like they're cool places. And we live by the fucking beach in beach towns. And what's crazy to me is beach towns, like a lot of people are bringing their hierarchy thinking here and their power dynamics here. And we live by the beach, like loosen up, dude. And lucky enough, I found a hostel that's kind of like more understanding of the traveler flow. Like I had to ask for help yesterday just to get out of that shitty situation, and I ended up going back to a more popular tourist spot here in Mexico, which worked out, and finding a better hostel. They were even like, you don't have to pay right away, you can pay when you leave. And something that the other boss, which I was volunteering for him about, I was like, I'll just switch to paying because I don't feel like I fit the volunteer role. He was so cruel that he wasn't even gonna let me focus on my work and try to pay him. He wouldn't even give me grace at all. And imagine if I settle for that, like, oh, the world is. He's like, oh, every hostel is gonna make you pay, and I end up finding a hostel that's like more chill, and getting a private room. So the whole point too, if you settle for cruelty in this world, like cruel people will have you thinking like, oh, that's just the way the world works. And I get business is business under colonialism and capitalism and all of that, but people go much further, in my opinion, when you keep the human element and grace and compassion. And if you take that away too much, then I feel like that shit just doesn't work out. But yeah, just briefly talking about my experience, it's shitty. I think I think I've just noticed a lot of people, especially in Mexico. There's like so much machismo here, and people who are in hostels. Hostels used to be like the place to be for travelers, or freedom, the idea of freedom, but it's turned a lot into like aesthetics and hierarchies where people are trying to see where they fit, and they're trying to perform too much, and they're trying to like who's the best dressed, who's the most popular, who's the most cool, and it's very high school. And it's cool, it's groupthink a lot of times in a lot of places, but it needs to be some hostels that are more like the one I'm in right now. It's too soon to say, but where it's more understanding that people are here for freedom and flow and doing their own thing. They're more self assured. Especially when you get into environments that are full of insecure people, that's very dangerous and weird too. Where people are measuring themselves up by like how people look and who has the most privileges, or who's supposed to be in like servitude roles. And also a lot of foreigners are bringing their servitude ideas here, where they don't want people of color to outshine them, which is crazy. And there are people who live in that outdated mentality. If you're not white and having money, then you don't deserve basic human rights. And that's insane. But yeah, so that was my day yesterday. And my experience lately in hostels have not been very free and fun. And in general, I feel like society, a lot of people can be so serious. And I'm a very goofy person, but I get projected onto a lot. And I think in some places, not to be like egoic or anything, but if you have a certain confidence level about you, or you appear attractive or gifted or have a light about you, whether it's physical or not, if people don't feel that way about themselves, they're going to bring you down. And so I feel like where I am right now is more like, I don't know, it's like a healthier level of people who know who they are, maybe. Like everyone's not going to be on the same caliber. And like, for example, if you're in certain places, they perceive beauty as sinful, and these people try to like keep me down or like starve me out literally because you have too much to them. And it's insane. And even when I would post my videos there, like if people don't have purpose in their life, they also get annoying because they try to take jabs at what you're doing, whether it's YouTube creating or whatever the case may be. And these people in this last hostel, they were trying to use gang stalking tactics against me, all of this stuff. And they're so fixated on treating people bad, they don't care the consequence. Until I left a review, an honest review, all these things. And so it's just wild. And so the spiritual consequence of treating folks bad is sometimes when it seems like you're winning and you're getting over people in the quick ways, and then you're wondering, well, I wonder why I have bad luck in my life often. It's like, bro, I wonder why. And whatever, to each his in her own. And the whole point of not settling for things is like, if I believed all the shit that these people projected onto me and didn't ask for help to get out of that situation, I was like, no, I'm a really kind person. I don't deserve to be treated like this. If I had let my standards get lowered, then I would still be there accepting bullshit bullshit. And so, just a reminder: don't settle for shit. And what else? Um, yeah, just asking for help is never bad too. I think we live in this world. I'm gonna make more videos about that, where it's like we think asking for help is weakness, but we're not supposed to be like hyper individualistic anyway. And so it's not a failure. It doesn't take away from you to ask for help. And I wrote some key points. I'm trying to make sure I touch on everything. um, mm, no, I think until next time, I'm gonna make some more topics today. Till later.